Assassin's Creed Shadows is actually out right now in a physical form. We got some more gameplay footage leaked, and it's not from where you would expect. There's a few gamers out there now with physical copies of Assassin's Creed Shadows. It looks like there was a seller on Marketplace with a few copies, and they got scooped up pretty quick. Now, they were charging a little bit above market value, about $100, which makes me kind of think that there might have been a little bit more there that they needed to get rid of fairly quick, because when we seen the auction for No Man's Sky, it was just in the hundreds and hundreds. And I'm gonna be honest, if I was selling these games, I would definitely be trying to get a pretty penny out of the problem for myself, because I already know whoever sold these games is gonna be a little worried about the repercussions. I can tell you as of now, there probably won't be any. It's just a matter of not responding to an email or not returning a call or picking up the phone from Ubisoft and answering that one question, hey, is your box open? And we already know Ubisoft isn't going to send a representative out there to make sure all the boxes are closed. It is what it is now. The world knows about the game, and on a positive note, we can go ahead and see that Assassin's Creed Shadow is gold and it will be releasing in March. Now, let's be real. This is nothing new, and there's really not a whole lot that you're gonna be seeing in this. We already know a lot about the game. We know the majority about the game. So seeing this kind of stuff is really just to help build hype, in my opinion. I do not see this as an actual issue for Ubisoft. I actually think that this could have been done on purpose. I've seen other companies have this issue happen, and really all it did was drive up pre-order sales. I'm gonna watch the numbers and see what happens out of all this news, because there's one avenue where you can kind of market your product in an exclusive way and drive up that fear of missing out, and that is giving a few people copies early, making it exclusive, and then posting it all over the internet for people to see, while you're also actively taking it down within the hour. You know, that way there's not a whole lot that's being seen, just enough that it sparks the hype. And we can already see the hype going. I mean, I'm making a video about it right now. There's hundreds of creators out there making videos about the leak. That just puts all these eyes on Assassin's Creed Shadows, and in my opinion is a marketing technique that some companies will use. Do I really 100% think that they're doing this? There's no telling, obviously, but I have a fair indication that, you know, with all the stuff that has been leaked about this game, it would be really hard to build up hype. Otherwise, you'd really need to make it kind of an exclusive product, make people wish that they wanted this thing and that they could be a part of the group. Now you just gotta hope that your product is, well, good enough to actually spark that kind of hype. It will be a really rough build, so part of it will show off how bad the game could be, and then when you see the updates and you see all the patchwork, then you'll actually get a fairly good polished product. And when those videos actually make it out, you will see some numbers move. Now, I'm not saying that Ubisoft couldn't have made a blunder and shipped out packages early. In this day and age, that kind of thing is so easy to prevent. That would be a real bonehead move for them to actually have done that, and would really point to even bigger problems with that company than simple game development. If you can't get a product out on time and you can't all communicate about when the product is supposed to be out, I mean, we already know that some of the devs had no idea that there was going to be a delay until the public post. So it very well could be showing out all the bad communication inside of Ubisoft. And I mean, after the last year, we really did not expect anything different. The company has been struggling, especially with the last few titles. They just have not been able to produce the numbers they needed. When I had played Motorfest, it just wasn't that interesting to me. I didn't find it that fun to play, and I'm not the only one, because there was a lot of gamers out there that felt the exact same way of all their titles, and only a few of them were really that good. I don't have a crystal ball or anything, so I can't tell you exactly what Ubisoft has planned, but that's really where I think that this had been going. I think that this is the tool that Ubisoft is using to create some hype. You see all the videos, you see tens of thousands of views on these videos, and you know that's got to translate into something, and I would think that it's going to translate into pre-orders, or at least orders on release day. I mean, 300,000 pre-orders on a game that's had a very rocky start is pretty good. You start thinking about it and you're like, well, that's only 100,000 less than Odyssey, and it has been a super crappy launch. People have been dragging Shadows through the mud. Now, this does seem like it's going to be one of the bigger titles that Ubisoft puts out for the franchise, and when you see a little bit lower pre-orders than you were expecting, how do you drum up that type type of hype? Well, you might use exclusivity if your product cannot actually deliver. So that's what I think Ubisoft is actually pushing for here. I think this was an intentional thing. I do not think this was by accident. Now we're hearing about physical copies in all sorts of places. I'm not calling you a liar, but I do feel like there are some people that are hopping on the bandwagon just to be part of the group that own the game. And there you go. In that, more exclusivity. People want to be a part of the group that have the game. So now there's a lot of people online looking for how can they get a physical copy of the game. Boom, more hype for the game. This is a very good tactic for Ubisoft to be using in this instance. It wouldn't work for certain games because people just don't want to play that game. But for an Assassin's Creed game, giving out details all year long. Now, what do you do for the last month to build up hype? Well, I think personally that they would fake a fumble release like this, a leak, and build up the FOMO. Get everyone hyped about the game, show off some things, even if it does look a little crappy. Let this happen to an extent, cover it up as best as you can. Use that as a marketing technique because there's going to be people out there that are saying, oh, this isn't so bad actually. It actually looks pretty good. And as we were talking about the numbers before, you have 300,000 hardcore fans that were going to pick up the game no matter what. Now you want to kind of scoop up a few more with that fear of missing out, and you could probably reach that 400,000 number. I mean, if you're wanting to challenge your top game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, in terms of sales, gonna need to do something to actually promote this game after you've given out so much about it already, which for me is super disappointing that companies are doing this now. They're just giving out pretty much the entire game through creators in early access and letting them show you everything months and months and months ahead of time. I get having an early access and then getting to play the game and yada yada yada, but being able to show the game months and months and months ahead of time, that kind of crap is just ridiculous. Doing a showcase and stuff like that, that's fine, and I get that people want to see the game so that they know what they're getting, but you can see the game a month ahead of time and know what you're getting. If you can't catch the information by then maybe wait a little bit longer and see if your favorite streamer or content creator actually plays the game, and if they don't, maybe don't pick it up. I'm just getting sick of all the information coming out for a game well before the game is even close to launching, and then when we get close to launch, everybody's like, well, what's the hype gonna be? And now we're stuck with the hype being, oh, it's released early. I would have much rather been talking about any of the little combat details and all the weapons and stuff like that now versus talking about how the game is actually leaked into a physical copy. Now Ubisoft is taking this information down, and I'm not going to share any links or any of the gameplay footage that's actually been shown. Everything that I've shown now is actually from release content. Overall, my take of the game is fairly mid-tier. I'm not expecting it to be a blowout, but I would be glad to be wrong in that. If it's gonna be a blowout game, let's go. I'm ready for it because I've been waiting to jump into feudal Japan as an assassin for so long. Ghost of Tsushima kind of scratched that itch for me, but I definitely would like to see what this franchise can pull off. From what I've seen, the combat looks a little quirky. Everything looks really quirky, and man, it just needs some polish. It needs some work. It needs to be smoothed out. Don't come into this game for historical accuracy or even environment accuracy. I know that they've been touting those details, but there's just some things that are not going to be accurate as far as the history, and even the landscape is just not there. I've been watching some of the other creators that are actually Japanese, and they're just roasting this game for all sorts of reasons, whether it be what type of vegetation is going on during what season, down to the mustache styles. It's just everything's getting roasted. So don't come to this game for historical accuracy like they've been saying. It's just not the case. It is going to be a good game. You're going to be able to crawl around for once, and you're actually going to be able to build your own headquarters out, which is one of the details that I am actually least excited about. Who the heck wants to build a headquarters, bro? Like I get it. They're kind of bringing back the whole spy network thing where you have people that can help you out and discover things for you. But even just the eagle vision or the synchronization points, you actually have to manually look around instead of just panning around, just doing a cool little cutscene. Now you have that manual people pan around and you have to actually find stuff for yourself. I mean, you could love that or you could hate it. Depends on what you like about the game. I particularly like the synchronization scene. Now, I didn't like it every single time. I was like, okay, this is getting a bit much. But when it revealed the details for me, that was really nice to have. I can see looking around being kind of a pain, especially for myself. You know, I have a little bit of a visual issue, so being able to spot all these little things I hope is pretty easy. Otherwise, I could be missing a lot of details that I kind of want to know about, and I really enjoyed that ease of use with the map and the discovery of everything. So we'll see how these spies work and how the game actually plays when it's officially launched. This could be one of the greater titles in the franchise, or it could be one of the biggest flops that sends this company to the Shadow Realm. So Assassin's Creed Shadows does release March 20th, just under a month from now. Either way, I really appreciate you stopping in and checking this video out. As always, have a good day.